It's the 31st of August and I'm just doing this quick video because I've just had some news that's sinking in. I was out for a drive after a coaching session where the client made me work very hard, but in the end I think it was successful, so I was quite on top of the world and the sun was shining, so I went for a drive. And on the drive I had a phone call from my gastric team in London that I've just transferred to. Only I didn't hear that it was that doctor, so I thought it was just somebody who'd seen these tests. Anyway, when I've transferred, as to which I did a big post on Instagram about, they ordered some tests, which was just to check how things were running. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is me well right now. I'm not well. Not well at all. And this is on the back of this past week where I have been so sick, it's unbelievable again. Anyway, I had a gastric emptying and a small bowel. I've got to the point of convincing myself that I don't actually have Crohn's disease, and I just had this particular flare because of the amount of stress in my life, and that can happen. I've convinced myself of this. This was the reason that I don't have Crohn's. Nah. So the phone call, and I've had conversations this week saying it feels like when I had a stricture. And guess what? The phone call is to tell me I have a stricture and it needs dealing with. And now I have the dilemma because I absolutely categorically do not want to start taking meds, and it'll be steroids. And then the only thing that had any effect on it, and I'm not taking long-term steroids. So I've spoken up the stairs. The doctor has said that this is got to be dealt with pretty quick. And when I had a stricture before and it wasn't dealt with, I got an obstruction and had an emergency visit. So I don't want that. So there is a meeting on the 8th and I have an appointment on the 12th anyway. So I'll find out then. Surgery has been mentioned. It's in the ileum, so the drugs have never worked anyway. And to put me on long-term steroids is not an answer. So I've just got back after processing this, and I don't really take it on board immediately and start having a panic or anything. Well, it's my Crohn's again. I've got a stricture. Oh, been here before. The thing what scares me the most is the prospect of taking long-term meds rather than the stricture. I've worked so hard to not be on those drugs. And Bo, stop it. But now, not far from pulling back on the drive, I've had the realisation this is going to mean a bag. Because they're going to chop it out. Hello, bro. Oh, God. Oh, yes. Yes. So, on the 12th, I'm going to find out my fate, basically. I'll put you back over it because on the 12th of September, there might be medication starting to be put down my throat again, as well as, because the week that I've just had and how sick I've been, the stricture's got worse. than when I had the test. The tests were a few months ago. So if it's the point of the stricture, my body just rapidly goes, I've been here before. And there's a pattern with how it works with everything. So... Oh, thank you, Bobo. So, we will find out the fate. So I just wanted to do this quick log so that it wasn't lost. Because I've told no one yet. I've sent a couple of messages to friends. I don't want to put it on my Instagram story. I don't want to... I mean, look at me. I'm not well. I'm not well at all. I can't believe it. I feel like I've failed. Feel like I've really failed. And everything I'm promoting is a lie then, because clearly I'm not well. I'm doing adverts saying I'm living well with IBD on bloody World IBD Day. I'm not well. Only I convinced myself with this I am. And unfortunately, there's only so much your mind can do. There's only so much it can do. It's because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And one of the secondaries is Crohn's disease. And my Crohn's disease is not in remission. It is active. And it has given me a stricture. Again. I really don't know what to do. I never thought it hasn't entered my head that I will ever say that ever again. Ever. Ever. I think I'm all alright, me. I'm fine. Not fine. I've got a bowel that's closing up. And it's making me extremely poorly. And I have to do something about it. Or I'll get an obstruction again. There's no stopping what's happened now.